Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
Dinny Skip.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, man. Yeah, I like what you're doing.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been watching you for a while now. Ooh.
Yeah.
This is the first time we met, but yeah, I've been following your music and stuff because you hang out, or you work with one of my buddy, or two of my buddies actually, Waffle and Andrew.
Yeah, I've met them in 2019. I think Waffle was on my anime shoot, and here we are today.
Yeah, dude, you put so much work into. Looks like each one of your productions, not just your music videos, but I've seen you like live on stage and stuff, and the amount of work you put into every one of those sets is incredible.
Yeah, live shows are new to me. My first one was end of 2023, and I got kind of my stage fright neutralized from shooting music videos. But I feel like nowadays people are more visually into a live show. And when they say they saw a band, like, oh, I went and I saw Dinny Skip. They never say I went and I heard Dinny Skip live. So I feel like intrinsically there's a visual element to live shows. So it's like, I'm just a dude playing guitar on stage. Like nobody gives a shit anymore. Mm-hmm. But if I have cute girls dancing or kink dogs coming on stage, or if I'm throwing shit at people, now we're talking.
Yeah, it's a whole production.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I try and approach my live shows nowadays. I'm 3 down, four down. Fete to Void, Boogaloo, which was my first hometown show last year, which was great. But I'm trying to only do festivals currently.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting some pretty big stages if you were at Boogaloo, right?
Yeah, Boogaloo was my biggest show to date. My first hometown show. It was maybe a couple hundred people there, which was a lot for me, you know. But it's mostly people that don't know who I am. So I have to. It was older people, so I had to curb my cursing and. Actually, no, I didn't really.
I was about to say.
I was going to, but everyone's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, let them have it, dude.
Let them have it. It is kind of weird seeing kids in the audience. And there was a skit where like we're throwing dildos at each other. I felt a little like, I was like, God, I don't want to be the first guy to where a kid sees a dildo. I don't want that to be on me. You know what I mean? So I have to think about that stuff sometimes.
We are in New Orleans though.
We are in New Orleans. And they didn't give a shit. Everybody was having a great time. But that was fun. I had a great time. Yeah,
it's kind of how I look at it nowadays. Is like we live in this freaking city. Like those kids are gonna see things at a very young age.
Yeah. So hopefully I'm their first dildo exposure. Hopefully not.
I mean, as long as it's at a concert and not in a weird situation.
The girls were having a dildo fight with each other. So yeah, there's entertainment value.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love the music videos that you're doing also.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, they're really cool stuff. You have stuff planned coming up soon?
Tomorrow, actually. Oh, yeah? The first official video I shot with Waffle and Andrew.
It's going to release tomorrow?
Release tomorrow.
Oh, dope, dude. I mean, this podcast definitely won't be out by tomorrow.
No worries.
But it will be out by the time this podcast is out.
Oh, great. Yeah, it was cool. Like I said, I know Waffle did photography for me since 2019. Love the guy. And then I had this preconceived notion that I have to hire the best people to do my music video. Not the best, the most expensive people. So I was like flying dudes from LA to come out and like top tier people that worked on Hollywood movies. Like I have to have these people. And that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Waffle and Andrew, I'm not going to say they do a better job, but they do just as good, if not better, than dudes that are fucking charging out the wazoo.
Yeah.
And it's good for me now because I used to put so much money into these goddamn music videos. And I've had to reapproach my direction with those because I'd shoot a video and then I don't have any money for 6 months. I don't have any music coming out for 6 months. But now I'm like, less expensive music videos more consistently. So
I think it's what it's all about, man. Being consistent. Who's the music artist that put out like a song every week or something like that? Was it Russ?
Tough. I think Russ did do something like that back in the day.
Yeah, and that blew him up. That's what he said. He's like, just being more consistent with my music and being smarter about it.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part. And until this year, I would be really good on social media for like 2 months. It's like, all right, I'm posting a couple times a week. And I'd phase out because then I'd spend too much money on a music video or I'd go out of town too long for work. But now I'm like, I'm posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Instagram and Monday through Friday on TikTok, no matter what, doesn't matter. So we'll see what happens by the end of the year.
Have you noticed any growth?
I've noticed less. Interesting, right? You would think that. It's only been 3 months at this point. But I used to post like once a month maybe. And now that I'm posting 3 times a week, I'm getting like freaking 100 likes, under 100 likes. Not good. But I'm also trying to not make my self-worth about Instagram likes.
Right.
Which is very difficult. Because originally I'm at like, 500 likes a post, something like that. But when you see it going down over time and you're putting out more content, I was expecting to get more engagement and more followers. Absolute opposite. So I don't know if I'm like shaking out all the people that don't want to see me consistently and allowing more new followers in. Not sure how that works, but hopefully at the end of the year, I'll get more traction.
Well, the whole like tricking the algorithm thing, that's a problem in my opinion, because you're putting out some great content, but the fact that you have to battle an algorithm,
it's tough.
Yeah, really
tough.
Like, so you have to almost understand how the computer is working before you can actually make it.
Yeah, and it almost is like you have to be blessed by the algorithm gods. And you could do everything right, post consistently, post good content consistently, and if the algorithm just isn't feeling you that day or that year, but it sounds corny, but all it really takes is like one post but people think, oh, this guy blew up overnight from one post. But it's like, nah, they were probably working behind the scenes for years and they just had that one post that you saw and now they're like, oh my God, this guy blew up overnight. So hoping the algorithm will bless me one of these days.
That's that mentality we have these days, the instant gratification mentality.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants it right now. No one knows that it takes years and years to actually do this shit.
And some people it does, but those people go straight up and straight down. And I don't think they're able to sustain a lifelong career in music. Take example, Lil Pump. I love Lil Pump. I love a bunch of SoundCloud rappers, but they went voom real quick and voom real quick. And if they're young kids, they're fucking under 20, So I'm hoping as I approach my 30s, I got my life in order. If opportunity meets luck and the algorithm gods, I'll be able to blossom from there.
Yeah,
That's what I'm hoping for.
I've been using, because with most of these YouTube videos, I normally write out the descriptions and all this stuff right here. And you're looking at like, hour, 2 hours of work to do all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I've been using some AI to help with that stuff.
It's great.
It's really great. Some things you can use AI for are going to be life changing.
Insane. I just found these AI voice generators and you could go on the computer. It's called 11 Labs and you could talk into it and it matches your inflection. It matches your dictation. You get and then you choose a voice and it does that. You could choose a British accent, Australian accent. And so I made an intro to one of my songs with AI voice generators. I'm sending pranks to people. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's fucking scary how good it is and how we're just like at the cusp. We're not even there yet. And once deep fakes are really prominent and like anybody can make a deep fake, we're fucking screwed.
What do you think there's going to be some kind of solution for that?
The government is talking about it. And I know Elon Musk is an advocate for AI government mediation. Those old motherfuckers, they don't know. They can't do anything. I think they want to, and I think they'll probably talk about, oh, we need to make these laws about AI, but it's too late. Cat's already out of the bag. I don't think they could do anything for it. I think it's just one of those things where we're going to have to adapt around it. It's coming whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
And there are artists, like any new advancement in technology, that will diss it. And then the times will just take over. Oh, when computers came out, oh, you don't fucking play guitar. You're not a real musician. And now it's like, if you can't do vertical content on TikTok, you're not going to fucking make it. If you can't adapt to AI, you're not going to fucking make it. So
I'm having a blast with it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I say fuck what everyone else thinks. I love it.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I don't even Google anything anymore. I ask AI.
Yeah.
Because Googling, you have to dive through all these fucking pages to like find the right answer. AI just fucking tells you.
It just fucking tells you.
Yeah.
And it's I went to Thailand. It helped me with my itinerary. Build me out a 7-day itinerary in Bangkok.
Oh, I've heard people doing this. Yeah.
Boom. It's so easy.
And it just knows like where you should be going and stuff, right?
And then you could go from there. I mean, it's not perfect, obviously.
Yeah.
But it'll get there. Absolutely.
It's like me, even when I ask it questions about things, I still confirm with Google. I double back on it. But so like we were just talking about this mead product that I'm making. The only reason I know how to, or knew the correct ingredients to put in that was because of AI.
No shit.
AI was like, it's probably not a good idea, but this is what you need to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse. It's both.
Yeah. I tell you, another cool way that I use AI this past year was we have a Discord for the bar, and we have a lot of musicians and comedians that come through here.
Cool.
And one of the ways I did it, I was like, I went to AI and I said, if I was a musician in 2024 and I wanted to make it, how would I do it? Give me like 10 steps on how we do it, and then break each one of those steps down into like manageable things to do. And it did that. It wrote me out a little,
No kidding.
yeah, a little skit or a little, a document that states, you know, how you should do it and the steps you should go about it.
Was it accurate?
I don't know. I'm not a musician or a comedian, but I put it on the Discord for everyone to look at if they want to.
Fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, I can get you a link to it also. I mean, even though you seem to be doing stuff just fine,
Yeah,
but
cool.
it's just cool to be able to use it for things like that.
Yeah. And it kind of, it's awesome, but it sucks simultaneously using Photoshop's generative fill.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
What have you done with that?
God. Photos are so easy to edit. For example, 2020, my EP Muckin' Frippin' Tuesday, I was like, I want to do something cool. I want to conquer my fears. And what's my biggest fear in life? Cockroaches. So I was like, I'm going to get some fucking cockroaches and put them all over my face. I ordered some Madagascar hissing cockroaches from eBay.
Real ones?
Real live
Oh my God,
thick
dude.
daddies that
What the
came in a
fuck?
little box. And I think I had 6 of them. And I sound like such a little girl, but it was horrifying. You open the box and there's shit everywhere. And so I put them all over my face for the photo shoot. And they smelled, it was the most unique smell. It smelled like rotten Sprite. It was disgusting. And they kind of clawed at my face so they could hold on to something. And it was a little rough. It smelled bad. My face broke out. I had my buddy there who would just like, they would just fall off and was like shitting on me. Long story short, I could now just do that with generative fill.
Mhm.
I just put cockroach on my face. But as an artist and producing art, knowing that I did it the original way,
Right.
there's so much more gratification. And the picture, everybody thought it was Photoshop because like I had my claw like this and the roach was right on my finger, like it was posing for the camera. It was so fucking cool. And that just was in camera, no Photoshop. Nowadays, my new EP, which will come out eventually, that waffle shot, which is fucking great. It's like 80, I don't want to say 80%, 60% gen fill, 40% creative direction. And when those two blend properly, it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, but it's not cockroach clout though.
No, it's not cockroach cloud. It's not quite as, I don't know if I'll ever be able to top that. That picture, it just speaks to people. Oh,
So
man.
did you know that you can now use generative fill with Premiere Pro as well?
Yes, in video.
Yeah.
You can't, it has to be kind of like stationary shots and you can
Mhm.
build around it. But eventually we'll get to God knows where. But I'm not good enough with video editing yet to really do that properly.
You edit all your own stuff too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Thanks. Yeah, it took it's a steep learning curve. I have no film background or whatever, but I remember the first video I shot was 2018, 2019. I just got my buddies and a friend from college, like, just go fucking shoot a music video, and the production value was shit. And then from building from then, now I understand direction and lenses and lighting and all the stupid things you have to know. But I love it. It's the biggest challenge, but the biggest reward that I could think of. Cause it's just, it doesn't look like much, but when you're the only person that's writing the song, building out the storyboard, directing it, editing it, doing wardrobe.
It's a lot.
It's fucking so much. And I remember Nothing Left to Say, the video I did a year or two ago. That fucking took years off of my life. It was so stressful. It was a big squad of people. I had so much to worry about. It was a lot of extras. And then when you edit it and you look at it, I'm like, it's really not that cool. That was the shittiest part. The amount of effort that I put into that, because most people are going to watch it one time and be like, it's cool.
Right.
But that's what art is. Like you have to learn how to kind of make it for yourself, or else you drive yourself fucking crazy.
But I mean, how do you manage to stay motivated in those times when you're working on something that's taking forever and taking so much gas out of you?
Great question. I just have to do it. It's like a proclivity.
Might want to get up here so people.
Sorry. It's like I wake up and I like have to do something, have to make something. And I get really motivated quite frequently, especially when I'm like, oh, this post or this song or this video is going to do really well. And it doesn't do fucking good at all. You know, for the next hour or two, I'll be a little bummed out. But the older I get, and especially, it sounds weird, but going to Thailand like really changed my perspective on life. And
why?
When Thailand is beautiful, it is so a fucking best experience of my life. But it's not impoverished. People in America hear Thailand and they think ladyboys and third world country.
Mm-hmm.
And it really upsets me because that's not what Thailand is at all. And it is people are so fucking friendly. It's called the land of smiles.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you go, I'm dressing like this in Thailand. I'm expecting people to look at me like they do in New Orleans. Like, who the fuck is this kid?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck no. They're like, oh, you look like Michael Jackson. I don't know why.
It's definitely a celebrity look. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people, Hollywood, you look Hollywood. But they're the friendliest people. Getting back to the point, they don't have as much as we do in America. Mm-hmm. And yet they are the happiest fucking people out there. And when you see what some of these people do on a daily basis and what their life exists, it makes you appreciate my life a lot more. I have a great family. I have great friends. I got a great job. I got a career. What the fuck do I have to complain about? Mm-hmm. These motherfuckers are doing it's not horrible work, but you know, imagine just you're dealing fish day in, day out. That's your life. It's just fishing and you have your little market and it's great. But it made me think like, how the fuck am I going to complain when my Instagram post doesn't do well? Like, what the fuck? So now I am more so like, Dinny Skip gives me purpose. If I'm not doing it, what the fuck else am I going to do with my life? So if it doesn't ever work out, I'm still going to be doing it till the day I die. Mm-hmm. And it gives me purpose. I enjoy it. So that kind of helped me get my motivation to where if my Instagram post doesn't do well, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Can't complain about that.
Was that the first time you've been out of the country?
First time.
Yeah. For me, it was very eye-opening too. I went to Ecuador.
No kidding.
So it's kind of the same way where I saw these people that, you know, had so little, but they were so happy and so friendly. And they were just enjoying life. And I was like, what are we doing in America?
Yep.
Like we put all this crap on our shoulders all the time. And it's like, you don't have to like worry about everything. Like all you need to worry about is right here in this moment. Like how good is life?
Yep.
And life is good.
Certain countries have tackled that way more than America. And I think because it's almost like I don't know if double-edged sword is the right terminology, but because we have so much and everything is so convenient. I'm not saying America is a great place and it's easy for everybody. It's not. But everything is convenient here and everything is within arm's reach. We all have cell phones. We all have air conditioning. We all have the internet. When you go to other places, they don't have that, but they're more happy than all these kids that have depression. I feel like everyone in America these days is depressed. And it's kind of a shame.
Well, you touched on something there, the internet. Do you think that's part of the reason that kids have all this depression? Because I mean, in a lot of countries, they don't have access to this stuff. Like you still have to go to cafes to access the internet and things.
Yeah. I do think social media is once again a blessing and a curse in America. But you go to places like Thailand, like they have TikTok, they have the internet, they have Instagram, but I think it's culture, it's cultural differences. Like in here, you'll see kids trying to make TikToks all the time and they'll be rude in public and they'll, I don't know, throw stuff at people. Or remember they had that knockout challenge a couple years ago?
Yeah, stupid.
They like people will do anything in America for internet clout. Mm-hmm. Doesn't really happen in other countries. I don't think so. So I think everyone in America wants to be famous, and if they're not, they get very upset and like, oh, my life sucks. And I'm guilty of that until recently, you know, realizing that life ain't all about Instagram posts.
Yeah, I think more people should travel outside of the country and go to a place that is a little more third worldish.
Agreed.
Yeah, that way you can see, you know, or you can actually, it gives you perspective on life. Like you don't have perspective if you've been over here your whole life.
You don't. I agree.
But if you can see how someone with less than you lives a very happy life, it makes you appreciate this stuff even more.
It does. And I don't want to say every American should go out of the country because you have to adopt certain cultures when you go to Thailand. You can't just bring America with you. And I think a lot of people would. I think the only in Thailand and Japan, it is very rude to talk in public. If you're on public transit, you keep to yourself and it's rude. But here in America, people are talking on speakerphone. They're loud. They bump into you. So I think most Americans would bring that with them. And then they'd kind of insult the local culture.
So they would hate us even more.
Certain places. I think Thailand specifically, they are so welcoming of every walk of life. That place, not as much, but there are certain other countries that are a lot more racist and a lot more culturists that would hate Americans a lot more for sure. But going to Thailand, I was like, I am going to adopt the local culture. And me personally, I hate when I'm in public and people are talking on the phone or they're loud and rude or whatever.
Same way.
Very rude. Yeah. So I almost felt at home when I'm like on the train station. I was like, oh, it's not a bunch of noise. Everybody's totally quiet.
Yeah. When I see someone walking down the street with their speaker on, like jamming, I'm like, why?
Dude, talking on speakerphone in public to me is like one of the biggest. It's like, fuck everyone. I am the center of the universe. Y'all could all suck it. Sorry to the people that talk on speakerphone in public.
No, screw those people.
Y'all should learn better.
Yeah. Get it together, people. Man. Yes. What did you choose Thailand for?
What did I choose Thailand for? I think first and foremost, it's affordability. I'm doing Japan next year, which is a little more expensive. But I think my first time out of the country, I wanted something more affordable. I love Thai food. I love Thai women. I love Thai culture. Always have been. And so I was like, let's do Thailand. So me and my two buddies went.
I hear Japan's the place to go if you're a single white man.
Honestly, not as much as Thailand is.
Really?
If you're talking more like sex industry stuff, most places in Japan do not service foreigners. So you have to kind of find places that will service foreigners, and rightfully so. They don't want a bunch of rude Americans being rude to their girls or violent or whatever, and they have bigger penises. I didn't say that. That's just kind of like the local. They don't don't really like Americans. They typically have bigger penises.
Yeah.
But Thailand, anybody could find. When you go there and you see all these old, disgusting, pervy white men with young Thai girls that they probably bought as a date, it's a little cringy. But
it's the game.
It's the game. That's the way it is out there. But very, very excited for Japan. I think it's way more conservative than Thailand is in terms like Thailand, you could go out and fucking party. And people are like, oh, America's the only place that's free. Fucking bullshit, dude. As long as you're not pissing people off or you're disrespecting the royal family or Buddha or other people, you could do whatever the fuck you want.
That's what I've noticed being out of the country too, is like, it's pretty much just, it's free game, especially in certain places you go.
Yeah.
Like places that are more like third worldish. They like to have a good time.
They like to have a good time. I think another reason why I like Thailand and Asian countries like that is I felt very safe. And I feel like, I hear stories about people going to Colombia and South American countries, and not that they're all gang affiliated, but I think your chances of being robbed or mugged are a lot higher if you're just some random white boy by yourself. But in Thailand, I felt intrinsically safe. I was like, these people, I remember it was one time I was walking home to my hotel, and Google Maps does not really work too well in Thailand. And it was telling me to go down this sketchy fucking alleyway. And I was like, fuck, I guess I'm going to do it. I'm in people's backyards at this point, and this old Thai woman walked out, saw that I was lost. She's like, oh, hotel? You looking for a hotel? I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, down here to the left. I was like, oh, thank you so much. If I was in people's backyards in America, I would have been fucking shot.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up. Or most other countries. Hey, what the fuck are you doing coming out with guns or dogs? This lady just came out. I don't know. It's crazy. So
You use Google Maps in when you're out of the country?
it works kind of, but
Okay.
not really.
Well, whenever I went out, the last time I went out, there was no Google Maps, so you just had to
No kidding.
yeah, you were just on your own when you were out there.
No Google Maps is in like it didn't work, or
Oh, it didn't exist back then. Yeah, whenever I
Shit.
yeah, so it's been a while since I've been out of the country, but all I needed to go was once, and I saw what I needed to see.
Yeah, I think you need to go to other places.
That's what a lot of people say, but for me, Denny, the way I like to live life is like to sit in one position and let life come to me.
Respect. I respect that.
I'm a pretty laid back dude, but so when it comes to like traveling and stuff, doesn't really interest me that much.
I respect that.
Yeah, that's why I love this city, because this city, you can literally sit here and the entire world comes to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So I can meet people. Yeah.
You from here?
No,
Where are you from?
from Arkansas.
No shit.
Yeah. Are you from here?
I am from here. born and
Okay.
raised,
Yeah. You said local shows, hometown shows or something.
Yeah, Bobby Boogaloo was my first New Orleans hometown show. New Orleans is great. Traveling, I think it's natural for people to grow up in their hometown and hate it. Like, I fucking hate this place. I want to get out of here. But when I go to other places in America, I'm like, dude, New Orleans is fucking cool.
It's a great city.
Like, I think other than its violence, like New Orleans is fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's really hard for people to leave this place once they get settled in here.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know. I kind of want, sometimes I kind of miss like my family and stuff back home. I miss like seeing them grow old. Like, I think that's a cool part of life, is like getting to experience your family growing old.
Sure.
Like, I'm not getting to experience that. So I miss that a little bit. But then I think about leaving this city and think about what I'll be going back to, a little small town in Arkansas. Like, there's just no way I could survive there anymore.
Yeah. Wow.
I would get run out of town probably.
Yeah. New Orleans has everything you could possibly want. And I like to call it home. I think I am getting to that point where Baby Bird needs to flap his wings. And I'm thinking about, doing the Los Angeles thing just because there's more opportunity out there. So I don't know. That's where I'm at currently.
What do you got planned out there if you do go out there?
Like I said, there's so much more opportunity than there is in New Orleans. New Orleans has a lot of music, but no industry.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see the local scene, I respect a lot of people, but it's mainly, jazz and tourist appeal music. And there's not too many artists that inspire me here that are like up to date and doing current things. A lot of people are kind of stuck in their old New Orleans ways. But when you go to more places like Los Angeles, like those motherfuckers are inspiring. They are grinding. They are doing the AI shit. They're doing the TikTok shit.
Or you looking for more people with a sound like yours? Because you have a very unique sound.
I wouldn't say I'm looking for more people in my sound, but more people to work with. And Waffle and Andrew on that same wavelength. Like, they're always so hip to the newest thing, what's trending. I love working with them because they have all the gear. They're like, oh, this is currently trending on TikTok. We should try this for the next shoot. I'm like, fuck yeah. Other guys that I work with on music videos, like, well, according to my calculations from film school, if we shoot from this degree, it doesn't account with the, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
They're so by the book. And I don't know. I wouldn't say that's a New Orleans thing. That might just be like a film degree people. But if I'm like, hey, let's maybe try this out. They're like, oh no, but in film school, it's this way. I'm like, who gives a fuck about film school? I want to try some new shit. And Los Angeles, there's just, like I said, more opportunity, more people doing things similar to me, I would say. And
it's very interesting that you brought that up about the film school thing, because I know a bunch of guys that went to film school and they're amazing to work with as well. But then you also have these guerrilla type film producers, and those are the ones that I find myself more in tune with, because I mean I make films as well.
Oh, cool.
I find myself more in the guerrilla type film stuff because I like to move, I like to shake. I think those are the ones that can change with the times. The ones that that everything's got to be by the book. Like, those are the ones that have trouble breaking outside of the box.
Yes.
And I'm an outside of the box kind of guy.
I agree. I'm with you. Yeah. People like Waffle, people like Andrew. There's another guy I want to work with, Opus Mercury, who just shows up by himself. No crew, and he just fucking, all his work looks so good.
It's a dope name too.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Opus Mercury?
Opus Mercury, yeah. Damn. Instagram, I just know him from Instagram. I was like, I need to work with this guy soon. But other than Waffle, Andrew, and that guy, it's like, I don't know any camera dudes that are very outside the box, have their own gear, can show up and just know what the fuck to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this music video I just did with Waffle and Andrew, they impressed me so much. And I'm not saying like they couldn't impress me, but it was a lot of on the fly shit. I mean, we were shooting. I was like, oh, girls have to leave. We need to get the album cover. So we need to do a photo shoot real quick. And Waffle just like, put this light here, do this, put this, blah, 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 blah. Andrew was like, all right, we'll cover this up. And boom, within like 5 minutes, they had this crazy lighting setup that looked so fucking cool. And I'm like, that's impressive. There's not many people that could just willy-nilly just do something like that. It was all their own gear. So it's like,
a lot of it comes from years of doing it too, though, right?
yeah.
Yeah, because we've been doing it now for about 10 years. I think it's how long I've known Waffle.
No shit.
Yeah, so I mean, we've been in the game for a bit, and just learning skills along the way, picking them up. Like the first thing that we ever shot, it was the first thing that I ever edited to, and that was about I think it's probably 8 years ago. And we just got together one day, and we actually shot the opening shot of it with a drone. And and it wasn't a drone that flew; it was a drone that I was holding in my hand. Because we just needed a camera to like film this opening scene. So I was just holding the drone in my hand, filming.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we met Waffle after that. And we're like, okay, let's actually do this a little differently. So we all set up and we shot it. And then I had to learn Premiere Pro. So that's awesome. I went through that journey of the same one that you have, just learning how to do it all.
Yeah. Wow. That's very cool.
Yeah.
But I think it is, duration doesn't always equate to being hip with the times or your approach, because it's people like y'all that there's some film school guy that's been doing it for 10 years and then people like y'all have been doing it 10 years. Some people just want to stay in that film school lane of buy the book stuff. And so, yeah, I don't know.
What do you think gets people out of that? You think it's just like the way they're wired?
Yeah, I think it's mindset. I think it's, I honestly don't know. Cause I used to be like that. I used to be very like, if music, if it doesn't sound like Primus, it's not fucking music. Like rap music, I used to be the biggest hater. But I think it was like sink or swim mentality. If you can't beat them, join them. And I remember, dude, I grew up playing jazz bass, upright bass. I was a fucking jazz nerd kid. And I was like, I want to play bass the rest of my life. I want to fucking, and then I was like, who the fuck is interested to watch somebody play bass anymore? There are a few people are, but I realized in college, I was like, trying to be a studio bass musician is not going to it's not going to give me what I want out of life. So then I was like, okay, well, I guess I got to learn computer shit. So I hopped on Logic. I was like, fuck, I guess I got to learn how to sing. So it was just a big, steep learning curve of I want to do it. And this is the way you got to do it. Mm-hmm. So I think people that are stuck in their old ways of like, anytime I talk to somebody about I want to shoot vertical for TikTok. I remember some camera guys are like, oh, well, you want to vertical frame everything? I'm like, that's just what's in right now.
Yeah.
And, it's like, why are y'all so anti that? It's like, I love cinema. I love movies, but that's just not what the people want. And you got to meet them halfway and still make content that people are going to want to consume.
Right.
And I used to be not like that, to where it's like, I want to make bucket. It doesn't matter. I don't know.
Why would they not want to make it vertical? Like that's literally what goes on stories and in TikTok now,
I'm not sure. I think,
this is obviously not going to be vertical. This is on YouTube, but
sure. And you have to know the format you're putting it in. And I don't want to talk bad about all these film school guys, because they're really fucking good at what they do. And I've learned a lot working with people like that. But I think the work they do typically isn't more vertical. I think a lot of the stuff they do is short films and TV stuff. So they're not used to shooting vertically for TikTok, so it's just a different approach that maybe they're just not used to doing. I hated it. Took me a long time to get like that. I feel like just in the past year, I've fucking figured it out. So we'll check back in a year and see how posting every day does.
I mean, it's if you figured it out, then I need to sit down and have a chat with you too, because I need you to give me the secret sauce.
It's I don't know. What are you trying to post every day? Like bar stuff to make the bar bigger?
Bar stuff. And I don't even post every day. I know the format that I should be doing with this podcast, but for me that just takes so much time.
It takes a lot.
Yeah, time is the key thing here in my life. Because I know that each one of these podcasts, we should be like breaking them down, like, taking out little chunks of them and throwing those online.
Yeah.
But once again, it takes so much time to do.
It takes so much time.
Yeah. And when you're a one-man show, kind of like you are, that's why I'm trying to figure out like how you stay motivated in these things. Because for me, when I'm doing a film, I can probably do like 2 or 3 a year if I'm like doing the whole thing, if I'm like doing the whole production, directing and stuff. But when it comes to acting, I can act in anything forever. But that's taking work off my shoulders. But when it comes to like actually doing that stuff, I have to like do one in maybe like a month and then take like 2 or 3 months to rest and then do another one. Cause I mean, I put so much effort in each one of those.
Yeah. I think I used to be the same way. I would put out one beautiful music video, like one a year. And then that was it. That's all I could handle. It was all financially, mentally. I think getting a different approach, my job allows me to have more time. That is a huge fucking thing that keeps me motivated. I don't know. I know what I want to do with my life. I mean, is that like your end goal with your life, is making content and making movies?
Oh no, my end goal is just to have fun. So I mean, I'm having fun. Yeah.
Well, I think then if you're having fun, then that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Because
have fun and do weird shit.
Have fun and do weird shit. And I used to, again, until very recently, I was not having fun. Music, I woke up every morning, I was like, God fucking damn it. I hate doing this shit. Burnout is real.
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced it. And all my music video shoots were so fucking stressful that I didn't have fun anymore. And it took a while where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so that's why now I'm having more fun with it. I'm making content more frequently. That's less stressful.
What do you think it has to do with the people that are around you too?
Fucking absolutely. I was just about to say that having Waffle and Andrew is a blessing to have those guys, because they're like you. They want to have fun and they want to make weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else matters. And I was like, music video we did, I had fun. Like the last time I was on a music video set and I had fun, I can't even remember it. And it feels so good. And editing it, you could see it. You could see that I'm having fun in the edit. And I'm like, all right, I found it and I got to pursue it that way. Fuck making these really expensive music videos. Stupid.
Denny, so the first podcast, not to like totally change the subject, but I do want to change the subject.
Sure.
First podcast, we were talking about relationships. Like, do you have someone?
Single man.
And is that something that you, do you stay that way on purpose so you can focus on other things, or it's just,
No, I think anybody that says they want to be single, I don't want to say they're lying. They just haven't found the right person, and I just haven't found the right person. I know what I want in a partner. I'm at that age where I know exactly what I want, and it sounds so cheesy, but I just don't want to settle until I get that. And if I don't ever get that, fuck it. But no, everybody wants a partner. Everybody gets lonely. You know, you get off work, it's like, I want to have somebody to watch fucking Netflix with and send them memes, but if it's not the right person, then it's not worth it.
Well, do you actively look? Because the lady that was here today talking about this said she actively looks but can't find anyone worth shit today.
I think a lot of people, I go through phases of actively looking, and it's a lot because I'll go on a lot of dates and I'll drink a lot of alcohol and I'll stay up really late. You know, I'll get laid, but is it worth it? Is it worth fucking sending messages to people and constantly playing the game? And, oh, I kind of like this girl, but you know, I got to do this and this girl have to, fuck all that. It is exhausting. So I'm happy now. Just, if it happens, it happens. I look, you know, it's funny going to Thailand. It's like, now I'm like, I want a Thai wife. I don't even want to date Americans anymore.
Passport bros, right?
What's that?
You're one of the passport bros now?
I've heard that term recently, and it sounds evil. It's like, you're a passport bro. It's like, I just don't fucking like American girls.
I mean, clearly there's validity in it. Yeah. What did you experience over there that you weren't getting over here?
Interesting question. I think I don't want to generalize all American women.
Yeah, it's not all of them, but
no, it's not. But I think just American culture with women is, social media is a big part of our lives. Being on social media, having numbers, meeting a guy that has status and money, and he has to have these many followers on Instagram, this type of job. Like, you see these videos on TikTok, like, what do you look for in a guy? 6 figures, 6 feet tall. It's like, I don't think other countries are that specific. I don't know. American women love playing games, and if you like me, if I like you, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, why do we have to, oh, I saw she texted me, but I'm not going to text her back for 2 more days just to make her kind of sweat a little bit. fuck that shit. I'm too old. I'm fucking 28. I'm like, I'm not trying to play. If I like a girl, but hey, I like you. Let's go hang out. But in America, if you tell a girl you like her, you're done.
Yeah, it's an immediate turnoff.
Immediate turnoff. I'm like, what the fuck kind of world do we live in where if you like somebody, you can't tell them you like them?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in other cultures, like Japanese girls, they love guys that are nice to them. They, you know, just like being sweet to them. Like, oh, you look pretty. Let's go hang out. I love spending time with you. Again, you say that in America. I remember I went on a date with a girl a year or two ago, and I texted her the next day. I thought we had a really fun time together. I was like, hey, had a great time with you. Want to hang out this next weekend? Ghosted. Waited a couple of days, like, hey, checking back in. Ghosted. I was like, all right.
But now you're the creep.
Now I'm the creep. I'm like, I don't know, man. So experiencing that so many times, and everybody's experienced heartbreak. Being through heartbreak fucks with my art hard. I'm sure it does with everybody, but I don't know.
So you've had your heart broken?
Yeah, I think we all have.
I mean, I have too. Yeah.
I think there's that one that like really fucked you up.
But was that like the first one, or you just like it was just one you like really enjoyed being around and stuff?
Yeah, that one. One that you were like, this could be the one, and it's not. Just doesn't work out. And you don't hate the other person, but just it's like situational. It's like it might not be the right time, but you know that takes months to get over, almost a year. But yeah, it was recently, the past couple of years.
Oh damn! So yeah, it's still kind of fresh.
I'm over it now. You know, it gets to that point where it's like you wake up and you think about this person. You go to bed, you think about this person. I go days. I'm like, holy shit, I haven't even thought about this person. All right, I moved on. You know, it feels good.
And then a guy on a podcast brings it up.
But that's just it. When it's brought up now, it doesn't sting anymore.
Right.
You know, because it's like, I've been through it. It really fucked me up for a while. And I don't know, heartbreak sucks. What about you? Single?
Yeah, single. Yeah. Yeah. I think at this point, I'm kind of the same way you are, where I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm tired of like looking, actively seeking. So, I mean, if someone happens to come in my life and it works out, it works out. But, yeah, because I'm older than you. I'm 10 years older than you.
Oh wow, you
38. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you feel good.
So yeah, I've been around a little bit longer. So I've been going through it for a little bit longer than this game. And at this point, man, I'm with you. Like it almost seems like the culture that we have here in America isn't conducive to creating a successful long-term relationship.
Agreed. I also think in America, there's so many fucking options that it ruins it for everybody. Because you think back in the day when there wasn't Tinder and you were in your confined to your hometown, you had like 10 guys to pick from, and you made it work with that guy from high school or college that was your high school sweetheart. Now it's just like, oh, I really like this guy. And then you meet a guy who has more Instagram followers, has more muscles and a little bit taller. Boom, you're left. And I don't know if that's a specific to American culture, but I feel like a lot of women are like that, where it's like you are easily replaceable if somebody else can provide it better. And
yeah, what is the word for that? Is it hypergamy? Hypergamy? I think that's the word of it, where a woman will jump to like another man that's deemed more valuable.
Oh, okay. I've never heard that. Oh, like monogamy, but hypergamy. I
don't know if that's the crossover there, but I think that's the word, the hypergamy. Yeah.
I don't know if that, I'm an American boy. I don't know if that's specific to America, but I feel like it is.
You didn't see that in Thailand at all?
I didn't. And I mean, I was only there for 2 or 3 weeks. But even just approaching women in Thailand, I get it. You know, people can read off your vibes if you approach a girl creepily and pervily. But in America, if I just go up to a girl to say hi, like I instantly feel like they're like, oh my God, you know, and maybe I'm just not your type. You think I'm ugly, but I feel like 90% of the time, if I cold approach a woman in America, they look at me like, God, you're a fucking creep. You're way too short, whatever. In Thailand, it is not like that. They're so fucking friendly, so friendly.
Yeah, I've seen that before. The cold approach, yeah. Like, what is this guy talking to me for?
And even if you have cold approach, you have to kind of be a dick about it. Like, what's up, girl? You know, or it's terrible, but whatever.
No, it sounds cliche when you say it like that, but it's true.
yeah, like you can't just go to a girl and be like, my God, you look great tonight.
Yeah, they want you to have game.
Pervy. Yeah. And it's, different game works on different people. My weird, quirky game does work on some women. But 90% of the time it's just not. And you fucking flunk out hardcore.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I don't even have game. I just walk up and be like, hey, you ever tried vaginal yeast mead?
but that'll work so well. You have that disposition to where if you do hit that on the right girl, like fucking that's in.
They're like, what the fuck did you say to me?
But I feel like your natural, the vibes you got is very friendly and easygoing. And
Yeah.
I think people can, I hate talking about energy and vibes because I don't fucking believe in any of that shit. But people can sense your vibe just within a fucking second of reading.
There's something to that. I know a lot of people don't believe it, but if you even look at the quantum aspect of what a human body is, there's only like 1 to 5% of you that's actually real. It's actually like what's the word I'm looking for? Brain. Oh my God. Mass. There's only like 1 to 5% of you is actual mass. And that's the quarks and electrons. That everything else is just energy holding all the quarks and electrons together. So there is something valid to that. I think our scientists just haven't put their finger on it yet.
Interesting.
So that's why you can like feel something whenever certain people walk in the room.
Absolutely. And it's so weird. Just like even on social media, I just get a feel for somebody like that. And most of the time I'm right. However, I've learned that people that I like initially face value, I end up not liking them and vice versa. I wouldn't say it happens all the time, but do you ever get, let me put it this way. I've noticed people that I strongly dislike at first, I end up liking them.
Interesting. Well, do you think it's because they're more honest?
I think it's because I understand them more, maybe. I wouldn't say, honestly don't know. I never really thought about it. But people that are like extremely, extremely friendly, I can't even say that because I do like a lot of friendly people. I don't know. I've just noticed that.
Well, a lot of people are fake. It's that fake friendliness.
Maybe that's what I'm going after. You could kind of sense that. And it's like you get along really well at first and you're like, why is that? You're like that with everybody. So I don't know.
Yeah, Mel and I were actually talking. Mel is the girl that was on talking about relationships. She was basically telling a story about this one time when a woman got really mad at me in this bar. And she and I have known each other for 8 years. Mel and I have. So she knows me really well. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people that come to this bar, they know me really well. And the new people that come, I'm the same guy to everyone. But I'm kind of, I don't hold back. Like it's not like in a bad way. It's just like I'm going to say what's on my mind. There's a lot of people that will hold back in conversation because they know that it's kind of rude to say this.
Sure.
I just fucking let it fly.
Okay.
And if you know me, like, that there's no like,
animosity behind it.
Yeah, there's nothing bad behind it.
Yeah.
That I'm just saying it because I think it at the time. So I said this to this one lady this one time and she got super mad at me.
What'd you say? Can you say
I don't even remember this. I do it all the time. So for me, it just goes in one out the other now. She said that I told the woman she was dressed in an inappropriate way or something. And I was probably just fucking around with her.
Okay.
Because I didn't really give a shit if you dressed inappropriate or not. I don't give a shit. But she took very bad offense to it. And then she was trying to bring Mel into the conversation by saying, are you going to let this man talk to us women that way? And Mel was like, no, I know this guy. I don't give a shit what he says. Like, you don't listen to anything he says, just let him go. So yeah, it was one of those kind of things where she probably doesn't like me because she had just met me. But if you've known me for years, you know that there's no,
sure.
Yeah. It's just me being honest and open about my own opinions.
Yeah. I think a lot of people they have a guard up towards strangers. And if you do kind of say anything, even if it's a joke and they know it's a joke, if you say something like that, they kind of, I'm guilty of it too. I think some stranger, when people call me Bob Ross, I don't give a shit. I get it. I got an afro, but when a stranger is like, oh, little Bob Ross, I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know you. Like, I don't know you like that for you to say that to me in public. So I understand why people kind of are on edge, but a joke is a fucking joke. And you can't ever get angry at people for, like, I'm not going to get mad at a guy. I'm just like, yeah, I get it. That's funny. So I don't know.
Well, I don't understand getting mad about someone for saying words anyway. I can talk to anyone about anything And it doesn't even matter to me. Like you could call me the worst name in the world and I'd be like, that's cool.
I agree. I agree.
I had a conversation with the guy last week, and this podcast, whenever he posted the one that I did last week, but it was only 18 minutes long and he got up and walked out.
No shit.
And I've never had anyone walk out on a podcast with me before.
Fuck? What did you say?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you off camera because it's a very like touchy subject that we were talking about. Wow. But at the same time, if he would have just said, will you cut this part out? I would have been like, sure. But he just got up and left.
No kidding.
Yeah. I mean, and once again, like for me, I can talk about anything.
Yeah.
But I get some people don't like certain subjects. They get very emotional about them.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I think you need to learn how to control your emotions and have a conversation.
I agree. I see both sides.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, if it stems from trauma, a lot of people don't like facing their trauma. And if it reminds them of that, they're very combative.
Possibly.
But I see both sides.
Yeah.
I personally, like you said, there really isn't anything you could say that'll really get me down. But other people, very lightly, you could say the most innocent thing and they'll really fucking take it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you're right with the trauma stuff.
Trauma is interesting. I remember a couple of years ago, I had not an argument, I was talking to my friend and I was like, I don't think most people have trauma. And I am so proven wrong because there's levels of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And, getting raped at 6 is like the fucking worst trauma ever. But it's never happened to me. And I'm like, what trauma do I, and it's like little things. And I'm even trying to think of, I don't know. I'm not going to get deep into my personal traumas, but we all have traumas. And they arise random, like, holy shit, that's from childhood that I remember. That's why I feel that way about that.
Huh. Well, even after you you boiled it down to what that situation was, do you still have that issue or do you kind of get over it after that?
No, I've never really experienced hard trauma like other people.
Well, I mean, like the little things. It's like for me, I don't like going to the dentist. I'm sure I had a very bad experience when I was a kid at the dentist. But I mean, still, it doesn't help, even though I know it now.
Yeah. I think, small, like irrational things like that. I think I get to a point, I'm like, why the fuck am I scared of going to the dentist?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still scared of the dentist?
I don't like to go, but I still go. Yeah. No, it's not my favorite thing in the world to do, but I know now this is, just thinking about life and breaking my life down. It's like, why do I have this fear of this thing?
That why question is something I don't think most people ask. And I have that with certain family members where, especially people that can't control their anger, to me is like the most immature thing possible. And when I catch people that I'm close to doing it, I'm like, ask yourself right now, why did you respond that way to me saying this or me doing this? And I don't think most people ask themselves that why question. And people get like people that lose their anger. I remember I was helping my brother who has issues, love him, but it's helping him set up his new computer. And he just gets so fucking, he's older brother, he gets so fucking frustrated. And I'm like, why does that frustrate you? Just a little issue. So I don't fucking. And I think a lot of people need to ask themselves why they get angry at things. And I've grown as a person, gauging your gut reaction is the best way to overcome certain things. And when I react gut to something, when I have a gut reaction to something, I instantly now I'm old enough to be like, why did I react like that? And I try and figure it out. And next time that happens, I'm usually good at catching myself. I think the thing I need to work on now is family members, people that are less fortunate. In my family, I'm like, I don't want to get into that shit. But anywho, what do you feel about your personal traumas? Are you able to get over them?
Well, psilocybin helped me get over my personal traumas.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Whenever I first took psilocybin, I think I was like 32. And just like all the stuff that had been plaguing me my entire life, it just kind of like all coalesced. Like I was almost like outside of my body, looking back at myself going, so this is why this is this way.
Yes.
And I don't think I would have been able to get outside of myself if I it wouldn't have taken a substance that broke me out of my box. So I think we're all just like, this box of emotions and traumas and things.
Yeah.
And as you get older, that box starts to solidify and close in.
Yeah.
And luckily, like I said, when I was 30 something, someone gave me psilocybin and
that late in life.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. And it kind of broke me outside of the box and let me take a look at myself.
Psilocybin is great. Yeah. I strongly recommend everyone tries it at least once, even if it's just like a small microdose. But I remember doing drugs as a kid. The first time I did acid, you microanalyze your relationships with people. And I have such great parents, but I was in my teenage rebellion stage and I was a fucking asshole to everybody around me. And I did acid for the first time. I'll never forget it. The next day, I called my mom and my dad. They thought like I was about to kill myself or something. I was like, Mom, I just want you to know I love you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry, Dad. I love you. Y'all. And from that one time doing acid, just like I have the best relationship with my parents.
Yeah.
And I'm sure would have got there eventually, but acid made me realize like, why are you such a fucking asshole to these people that give you everything and more? It's because I was just like, fuck you, Mom and Dad. So yeah, not all drugs, but certain drugs are great.
Bro, I did the same exact shit. Like I had a trip one day and I just felt like this overwhelming sense of love. And I was thinking about my parents and I was like, I need to call them.
Yeah.
And I called them and I was still on mushrooms when I called them. But I was just telling them how much I loved them. And for me, it was realizing that they were just kids whenever they had us. And they're trying to figure out life too. Like they didn't have all the answers.
Yeah.
But for me, in my head, when I was younger, I was like, these guys know everything. Like, why are they living life this way? It's because they're just trying to figure it out too.
Yeah.
So the day that I realized that they're just kids raising kids, I was like,
Good
okay.
point. Good way of looking at it.
So yeah, I called him, confessed my love to him. And our relationship's been different ever since then too. And I always loved my parents. They were great. But it was just a realization.
I genuinely feel so bad for people that aren't able to experience good parents. Like it breaks my heart when I'm talking to somebody and I hear their dad is this way or their mom is this way. Like I don't know about you, but for myself, I am so lucky that like the card I got dealt with in life. I have just the greatest parents ever. Such a good relationship with them. And when I see it really hit me, my first concert, Fête de Void, I was driving home with my DJ. I love him, Zach, Hetty Murphy, high school buddy of mine. And my dad called me on my drive home. He's like, hey, son, just checking in. How was your concert? And I was like, oh, Dad, it was fucking awesome. Like this happened. I had my kink dog came on stage and this happened and this. He's like, oh my God, son. And I didn't realize it at the time, but when I hung up, Zach was like, damn, I wish I could have conversations like that with my dad. And I was like, fuck, man, there are a lot of people that can't talk to their parents like that. I could call my dad about fucking anything. And he's the only person in my life that is actively excited about everything going on. Hey, son, just checking in. What's new? I was like, oh, Dad, I got this going on. This happened with my job. He's like, oh, it's just like, it's such a blessing. Yeah. I love my dad.
You got to cherish that, man.
Cherish that. And the older I get, he retired to the North Shore with his girlfriend. I'm like, I got to go see him at least 2 times a month. My brother doesn't make any initiative to do it. So he's going to Europe next week. I'm like, fuck, I got so much shit to do, but I'm going to fucking see my dad because the plane might crash or some shit. So if you do have good parents, to the people that are listening, call them and tell them you love them because it means more to them than you could fucking imagine.
Well, and one day it's going to mean something to you when they're gone.
I know. Thinking about that, I saw a TikTok yesterday where, long story short, just like an old person talking about this generation of our grandparents that are in their 80s and 90s. That whole generation is about to be completely wiped out. Like that era of history, the way those people react, when you see those sweet, kind old ladies, people that are growing up on the internet aren't going to be like that when they're older. So that purity, and I know a lot of old people are also racist as fucking mean to be around, but they're also really pure old people. Yeah. And that generation is about to be wiped out. And I haven't been as good as, visiting my grandparents and saying hi to them, but seeing that TikTok, I was like, call my grandparents this morning, go and eat dinner with them tomorrow. So you got to take advantage of these people that are here because when they're not, it's going to fucking hurt. But
true that. Dinny Skip, you got anything else you want to bring to the table today?
I do not. Be kind to others. And I have a new song coming out tomorrow called Get Stupid. Rock and roll.
Where can the people find you at, Dinny?
They can find me everywhere at DINNYSKIP, preferably Instagram and TikTok because that is where I post the most. But in YouTube is where I post full-length music videos and things like that.
You on Spotify and stuff too?
Spotify's great. Yes, Spotify at DINNYSKIP as well.
Okay, one more sign off.
I love you. Bye. Tell your parents you love them. Peace.